Welcome to another interesting episode of Feminine Scope, a program where we explore the world through the lenses of women's experiences. I am Amanda Ezekwe-Okogun, and today we are beaming our lights on the topic that touches every woman's life in one way or the other: love, dating, and marriage from a woman's perspective. Love is a journey, one filled with excitement, challenges, and deep emotions. In today's world, women are redefining relationships, balancing independence with companionship, and setting new expectations for love and marriage. What does this mean to find love in the modern era? How do women navigate dating, commitment, and partnership while staying true to themselves? We'll gain insights into what it takes to build meaningful and fulfilling relationships. Whether you're single, dating, or married, this conversation is for you. So stay with us as we unpack the complexities, joys, and realities of love through the eyes of the woman. Welcome back if you're just joining us. This is Feminine Scope, and today we'll be discussing love, dating, and marriage from a woman's perspective. And I have my guest in the studio, Mrs. Yinlayefa Adeleke. She is the Chief Executive Officer and Lead Counselor at Recovery Waters Counseling Limited, with over 2 decades of unwavering commitment and expertise. She has excelled in her endeavors as a professional counselor. She has dedicated the last 2 decades to providing a safe, non-judgmental space where individuals and families can explore, heal, and grow. As a versatile professional and certified family life practitioner, she is the author of 2 impactful books: Marital Intimacy, Wisdom Nuggets for Building a Thriving Marriage, and Praying the Psalms for My Children. She is also the founder and host of the following talk shows: Talking Intimacy with Yinlayefa, Growing in Faith with Yinlayefa, and the Parenting Unplugged podcasts. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
So good to have you. And you know what we're going to talk about today, I know you're a professional in that area, which is love, dating, and marriage. First, what I'm going to ask, from your experience as a marriage counselor, what is the worst thing you've heard?
What is the worst thing I've heard in my experience? Okay, so a couple came to me, and the man concluded that the mess in the marriage is 100% caused by the wife. If only she could change, I will be a better husband and we'll have a better marriage.
So laying the blame on
the woman, pointing fingers at her, not taking responsibility for his own actions. But all the while, he was being harsh, pulling her down, calling her names. And the lady just sat there not saying a word, unable to speak.
We're talking about love, dating, and marriage from a woman's perspective today. First, at what age should the girl start dating?
Wow.
Because we're seeing lots of it, the Gen Z generation, things are changing. So at what age, officially, do you think a girl should start dating?
Now, science says that the brain of a human gets fully developed at the age of 25, 26. So if this brain has a part to play in making sound decisions, maturing and preparing the person for life happenings, then I would say it has to be over 20. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because the brain must be matured to a reasonable extent. However, we are in a society where You know, we see ladies being pushed into relationship. If you are at a certain age and no man is around you for serious relationship, you know, you may just lose respect. So officially, there is no world standard age. You know, if you go to some Western countries at the age of 18, they say you are an adult. You're no longer seen as a minor. You push you out of the house and you're able to live on your own. So I think it's more of a societal thing than a universal thing. So say from the age of 20, I would say from the age of 20, we can start talking about, okay, you know, exploring a relationship with the opposite sex, but still with boundaries, please.
What role does emotional intelligence play in, you know, a girl having a relationship? Because we see situations where, of course, once some of them, they feel finance does a lot of things for them. So once you throw money, they feel they're in love. What is the role of emotional intelligence when it comes to relationships?
All right. Emotional intelligence in the simplest form, I would say, is your ability to be self-aware. You understand your emotions and you are able to regulate them. And then being sensitive to the other person's emotions, you know, and then being able to communicate effectively. So for anyone to be able to go into dating and date healthily, all right, such a person must be emotionally intelligent. They must be aware of who they are. They must be able to understand, you know, their emotions. They must be able to regulate their emotions and don't allow their emotions to fly all over the place. So if you're not emotionally intelligent, or the young lady is not emotionally intelligent, there is a tendency for her to allow her emotions to rule her. Now, feelings are valid, but they don't always tell you the real thing. Yeah. So you should be able to know when, okay, these my feelings that are coming to play. It's my, no, the right thing now to do is to follow my heart, all right, okay, or I need to make a sound decision or take his choice right now to know what to do, or to know the next step to take. So one must be emotionally sound. You must be able to regulate your emotions. You must be able to be able to label your emotions. Some persons don't know when they are getting upset. Some don't know when they are getting angry. Some don't even know when they are abused. I have asked of being with people, and after I described what a toxic relationship was, they didn't even know that they were in a toxic relationship. Some persons feel that the guy slapping her once in a while is correcting her, is act of love to chastise her.
Some will tell you that once the guy doesn't beat them,
they don't love, but I know that is trauma speaking. Yeah, you know. So emotional intelligence is key, because if you don't have emotional intelligence, you will not be able to regulate your emotions. You yell and shout. You will not be able to put yourself under control, and boy, your mental health will fly off the roof.
Very key. What are the pitfalls to avoid when it comes to dating? Because we see there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, especially with dating. First, some people don't even clarify what they want.
Yeah.
They just feel, oh, we're friends and we just go into that. Where can you draw the line? And what are the pitfalls to avoid?
Okay. To start with, understand that before you go into a relationship, know what you want. What are you going in for? And the relationship you're going to, is this with this person you want to do it? Because if you don't know, you're going to settle for less. You're going to settle for an alternative. So watch out for red flags. And when I'm talking about red flags, a lot of times people tend to look at the other person for the red flags. But you have your own red flags. We all have red flags and green flags, you know. So look inward. Identify your own red flags. For example, are you clingy as a lady? Are you needy? It's going to be a problem, because while a woman wants to just keep going to cling, the man is shifting away. Clinging is not his kind of thing, you know. So you need to...
You want space.
Yeah, you want space. So are you clingy? That's a red flag for you. Are you given to anger, easily irritable? That is red flag for you. So understand your own red flags, deal with them. Have you been caught? Are you bleeding? Because if you have been caught in time past and you have not healed, there's a tendency for you to bleed wherever you go. A lot of time people say the environment, there's poison here. Meanwhile, the poison is on the inside of them. So before you conclude, is the poison actually outside? Is it internal poison or external poison? You know, so find out your own red flags, deal with them. If you don't heal, you bleed wherever you go. So heal before you deal. And then the red flags on the other person, what are those things, signs that you see? Is it disrespectful? Does he appreciate your person? How does he speak to you? How does he handle conflict? Because the way he handles conflict is the way he was taught in his family of origin, where his significant emotional experiences, they all contribute to who he is. His belief system, they all contribute to who he is. So how does he handle conflict? That is something that you should look out for. I tell ladies, the period of dating or courtship is not the time to say, what color of curtains are we going to have in our house? Leave the curtains for now, please. Let's look at some weightier matters. How is he dealing with conflict? So, for example, you went to his place and because his younger sister spoke to you in a way he didn't like, the next thing he slapped the younger sister. You may be feeling excited. Lady, your slap is in the next cooler waiting. Yeah, that shows that the man does not have diplomacy when it comes to handling conflict. That's what it means. And so somebody is going to slap you also. You know, how does he handle finances? So there are a lot of things, and then what are the beliefs and mindsets of this person concerning family? Do they align? Is he a believer? Now, a believer is not somebody of the contrary religion. A believer is, does he believe in what you believe in? Do your values align? You have a first world mentality or mindset. Does he have a first world mindset or a third world mindset? You know, so these are things that we need to look out for guide. And then, where is this young man going? Does he have a vision for his life? Because if he's not going anywhere, you ain't going anywhere either. You ain't going anywhere. So these are some of the things. And then society also. By all means, do not allow society to pressure you. Be
social
you,
media.
Yeah, be you and do you. Don't be carried away with what you see on social media. It's all a front. Mostly is the front. Now, that is the reason why I have discovered that because of that, most LD marriages or people in relationships, they don't want to put theirs out there because they feel that they will say, they just beat and finish, now she's coming to. Meanwhile, it's not true. You know, so some of us that are actually enjoying our marriages and thriving, you know, we are not so much projected. But I want to encourage us, if you are having a thriving marriage, please put it out there. Let people see, you know, so that somebody can be encouraged. A lot of young ladies are discouraged. They say marriage is a scam. Marriage is not a scam. It's how you go into it and how you do marriage. If you know what you are going for, what you want, you work towards it. It's an intentional place where you roll up the sleeves and do the work. Then you get what you're looking for.
So, okay, now what is the role of culture in this? Because sometimes, you know, some people get into marriage and they are now seeing something else. And I remember someone coming to me to complain about her spouse, and I asked her, I said, so what were people talking about when you were dating? You know, she got like culture shock, so many things. So what is the role of, you know, culture? Because sometimes there are some misconceptions about it depending on where you're coming from. And of course, we know that everybody or most people uphold their culture. Did you marry a man from a traditional home? Meanwhile, your home is not traditional. Do you are you going to marry a man who maybe along the line he's from how will I use, what word will I use? He's from a royal family, and you know there are some things they do, expected. Did you marry a first son? You know, most of all these things, how can you clarify it, especially when it comes to culture?
Okay, wisdom says investigate. before you go into relationship, because everybody's got the known part, okay, the unknown or the revealed part, and then the secret self. There's a known self, there's the unknown self, and there's a secret self. The known self, okay, is that aspect that the person knows of himself, his family tree, his family of origin, the family gods or idols or traditions that runs, it tells you, this is where I am from, this is my roots, you understand? Then there is the unknown self. That is the one that the person does not even know that is existing in his lineage. That is that one. Then there is also the secret self, the one the person knows but will never tell you. So like the case of the man that in his family, the tradition says that a wife must never give out money before, without seeking consent from the husband. And if a woman does that, she's going to have some sort of strange sickness and die. He knew that, but he never told the lady. So there is always, the time of courtship is for you to find out all of this. Please, if you believe in the power of prayer, pray. Let God reveal things to you that you don't know about that person, even about your own self. Now, culture is a way of life of the people. Man created culture, right? Culture was created for man, not man for culture. So I would say, whenever a culture is not serving your good, your purpose, whenever a culture isn't empowering you anymore, it's becoming disempowering, please dish it, trash it, because it doesn't make sense to hold on to old traditions and culture that are not serving you. Back in the years, we know that men were the ones that are seen as the sole providers. All right, the woman is in the home front, taking care of the children, cook the meal, take care of the home, all of that. The man goes out there as the dogu, provide, bring all everything. Hello, times have changed. Do you know how many MDs of banks we have in Nigeria now? A few years ago, you didn't have that. You just had maybe one or two, while the others were all male. But now the dynamics have changed. Women are going out, leaving the kitchen, throwing the aprons. Do you understand? They are going on high heels, they have suits, beautiful suits like this, And so you met a lady on high heels and suits with beautiful makeup and like a lovely glass like yours. You got married without discussion. After you tell her, take off your heels and your jacket. Hello, come on, it doesn't work that way. We need to have these discussions before we walk down the aisle. So culture has its place, but then I say any culture that is not serving you, please discard it and create a new culture. If the culture still serves you, beautiful, go on with it. If it helps you to promote your wholeness, if it promotes or helps you to show your authentic self, all right, if it helps you to show forth in the form that God created you to show forth, by all means do. But when a culture isn't serving you anymore, you dish it and create a new culture, because culture was created for man, not man for culture.
Do you think dating standards over the years for women has changed?
Yes, it has.
How?
By extension to this, okay, so back then, they just say, Amaka, there's a so-and-so family that wants to come and take your hand in marriage. Amaka doesn't know anything about Emeka. You understand? The family just agree, they arrange a marriage. And when you are going into marriage, remember you must respect your husband. You must cook his food. You don't argue with your husband. The roles were spelled out. And they tell the man, Emeka, you are marrying a very fine young girl. Make sure you take care of her. Provide for your family. Do you understand? Those things were just traditional. They were just there. But now, dating, sometimes parents don't even know that their children are dating. Until one day somebody comes and say, Mommy, I say, what is that? He proposed. So because of age, things have changed. What is expected back then, what used to happen back then is not what is happening right now. Now, women have a voice also. All right.
Sure.
Yeah, women have a voice. She can decide who to date and who not to date. she doesn't need probably consent from her parents to date whoever she wants to date. You know, woman has her money right now. She works, she takes care of herself, she can meet her needs. Back then, it was more like a pretty girl is enough to make a family. Oh no, but right now guys are looking. What are you bringing to the table? It's not just a pretty face. Back then,
and some will tell them, I'm bringing the table.
Yeah, I'm the table. I'm the table. You know, so it's not just about she's a fine girl. No, fine, right? Are you doing something? What are you doing? What are you bringing to the table? So those are some of the changes, you know, that we see right now in dating.
There are some misconceptions women have before they get into marriage. What are some of these misconceptions?
Thank you. You know, the way a woman thinks or perceives love is different from the way the man perceives or feels love or receives or expresses love. All right, so the woman, some of the misconceptions that I know of are such as, I will change him when we get married. No, you cannot change anybody.
No.
You don't have the power to change anybody. You may be able to influence, but you cannot change the person. So if you going steady with somebody and you see certain habits that make you truly uncomfortable, you might want to sit down and have honest discussions with that person. And if the person isn't changing and you cannot take it, you might want to take your bag, your high heel shoes, and walk out of that relationship. You don't have to be there. So the misconception of I will change him when we get married doesn't hold water. Doesn't make sense. I am 30. I should be married by now. Should. No. Age is not a major factor when it comes to marriage. It's important. Don't mind, it's very, very important.
Very.
Yeah, very important. But it shouldn't just be about age. I'm old enough to be married, so I must be married. You may be old enough, but are you ready? Are you mentally ready? Do you know what responsibilities await in marriage? I was telling my younger brother, he's getting married soon. I said, you've been with me for many years before I came to Abuja. You know, you never paid house rent and all of that, you know, and he's getting married in a few months' time. Do you know what it means to be married? All those things my husband used to do, dishing out money, you know, taking care. I said, you're going to be doing those now. You're going to take care of not only you, you're going to take care of the woman. He's a very quiet, he's my space person. Guy, you don't have a space anymore. You're bringing somebody into that space and you're going to share that space with that person. And I told him, guy, your wife comes before your mom, our mother. Your wife comes before me, your elder sister. So let the woman know that she's going in to meet some responsibility. Some lady said, why do you want to get married? I'm tired of poverty in my father's house. I need a man to take care of. You're looking for a philanthropist, not a husband. Hello. A guy said in a session when they asked, so why do you want to get married? He said, I want to get married because you need somebody to clean the house, cook his food, do the laundry. You are looking for a housekeeper, not a wife. Mm-hmm. So go get a housekeeper.
A man actually took offense because the wife refused to wash his clothes. He insisted and the wife asked him, who has been doing it before I came? Continue that way. And it brought a major friction between them, you know. But when they went for counseling, that was what the counselor asked him, who has been doing it? If you feel you want her to do it, get her a washing machine. She can't use her hands.
Oh, I've heard somebody say he doesn't want the wife to use washing machine, that must use the hand. The hand is better than the washing machine. So I've heard that also.
So who was doing it for him before? Was he doing it with his own hands?
And the one that said the wife should cook fresh food every day. The soup must be fresh every day. Who was doing it before? Who was doing it before you came? The lady with heels and jackets? No. So another misconception will be, I will not be happy until I get married.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why are you? I've met several. So what's happening with you? I'm just not happy with life. What's the problem? What's happening? I'm not married. So are you saying that once you get married, you're going to be a happy person? Yes. Marriage would not make you happy. As a matter of fact, marriage will show you. Marriage will show you. Serious promax. Marriage will show you. Marriage will reveal your weaknesses. Marriage will reveal. Permit me, if you're stupid, your stupidity. Marriage will reveal your inadequacies. Marriage will reveal all of those. But the thing is an opportunity to grow in those areas when you've identified them. So if you have the mindset that I'm not happy and I won't be happy until I get married, dish it. It's a misconception to think that until you get into marriage, you have not started living, until you are married, you won't be happy. No, marriage will not make you happy. The person you are is who you are going to be in that marriage. And if you are not happy, you enter that marriage. Marriage is the two people in it. So you are not going to allow, the marriage to thrive. So that's another misconception. So if you feel that you are not happy as a single, find out why you are not happy and deal with that thing, before you go into marriage. Marriage is all about sex. Marriage is about changing surnames and having rings. Marriage is work. It's a lot more than that.
Talking about, marriage, we'll still get into that, but when dating, what are the qualities you should look out for in a long-term partner?
Okay. Number one, I would say, where is this person going to in life?
A purpose.
Yes. Where is he going? What is his vision for life? Where there is no vision, the people perish. Where is this person going? Does he have a vision? Where is he going to? Because where he's going to is where he is going to take you, because the wife is following. And is the person headed the same direction with you? Let's assume you found purpose and your purpose is towards Kaduna and the person is going towards Lagos. Just because he want to marry you, would you go with him? So vision and purpose for me is very key. Another thing is maturity. Is the person emotionally mature? That's so very important, because if you get into a relationship with someone that's not emotionally mature, you're going to have mental health stress. Is the person a man of his own? Is it tied to mother's apron string? And how long or short is that string? That also matters. What are you looking for in a man also? Is the person kind and respectful? When you are talking, does he respect you? Does he treat you with respect? Or does he just shout at you, talk to you like women? That kind of a thing, generalizing women. You're driving, you're going out on a date, and just because you said something, you stopped and said, "My friend, get out of my car." You still want to go back there? So watch out for emotional maturity, watch out for vision and purpose, watch out for values. His values, do they align with yours? It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but can you go on the same direction with your values and your values when put it side by side? Do your values align? That's another thing that's very important. How consistent is this person? Does he show up all the time for you? Consistency is key. Or is it the type that talks to you 3 days non-stop and then goes up on sabbatical for 2 weeks and then comes back, just shows suddenly with no concrete explanation or reason for that? So check consistency, and then your shared values and faiths. Do you believe in the same thing? Even people that worship in the same worship place, they don't have the same faiths, doctrines or beliefs. So your values and your faith, do they align? I've had couples that they were going on for several years. They were about to get married, and only to discover the guy is Catholic. She knows he has always been Catholic and she has always been a Pentecostal. But then the man said, after wedding, we are just going to go to my Catholic church. And she said Catholic is not hot enough for her. So the marriage was on hold. So those things are things that needs to be discussed, you know, and of course, again, the person's ability to handle conflict. You can't, you know, overlook that. How does the person relate with his siblings, his mom? How do they relate? Because that is going to spill over to how, you know, you're going to relate in your marriage. And then I will also say, watch out for support and growth. Does it support your growth? Does it support your dreams? Does it support your vision? You want to, your career, does it matter to him? When you said, I want to take a foreign course and it's $1,000, does he say, I beg, drop that thing, you want to go and waste money? Or will he say, oh, okay, I can help with $200? Does he do that? Does he believe in your growth? Is this somebody that you know you are very, very convinced that you can do life with? Because the thing is, we see the signs, but a lot of times we ignore the signs. The signs are always there.
So we're going to talk about the signs when we come back.
Okay.
We'll be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll dive right into marriage and talk about the signs we should see before we get into marriage. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of Asortv 93.5 FM Abuja, Asor Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Feminine Scope, and we've been talking about love, dating, and marriage from a woman's perspective. Before we went on a short break, we talked a lot about love and dating. Right now, we're going to talk about marriage, and we'll still have our guests in the studio. Welcome back. What is the biggest misconception women have about marriage?
Marriage. Different people have different misconceptions about marriage, but one of them is marriage will make me happy, or marriage will solve all my problems of loneliness. Marriage will not make you happy. You must be happy. You must find your happiness before you go into marriage. Marriage will not address the issue of loneliness, because many are in marriages and yet they are lonely. So marriage will not fix the loneliness problem. It is, it's a desire that you are going to have not to be lonely and do the needful not to be lonely. And it depends on the couples in the marriage. because everyone is unique in his own way. Yes. So going to marriage and it take care of my loneliness problem, no, it will not. I need to be married to be happy, no, it will not. I'm not living until I marry, that's when I start living. No, you have started living. So these are some of the major misconceptions that I have come across in my work.
You've been married for 23 years.
Yes.
How have you been able to keep the spark alive? Because this is a long-term thing and most couples don't even know how to. And the economy is not helping us. So how did you do yours? Because I needed to ask this personal question.
Okay. So for me, it was an intentional thing. See, you need to decide what you want. What do I want? I tell people, okay, what kind of marriage? When they come, I say, what kind of marriage do you want? If you said, I want a green marriage, have you seen a green marriage before? What does it take to maintain or sustain a green marriage? Where can you learn from? So you have to desire that I am going to have a good marriage. I'm going to have a healthy marriage. I'm going to have a flourishing marriage. When you have decided that, then you be a flourishing individual, because it takes two flourishing individuals to have a flourishing marriage. So I decided by myself, for myself, that I was going to enjoy my marriage. I decided that I was going to have a thriving marriage, a happy marriage, a peaceful marriage. And so I decided to cultivate those attributes in my personal life, not looking at my husband. Because it's not about marrying Mr. Right, it's about you being the right person. So we kept the spark alive by intentionally, working towards keeping the spark alive by what? We play together. My husband and I, we play a lot. We laugh a lot. He's my gossip partner, my gist partner. Yes. See, if in a day we don't speak at all in a day, then we spoke once. If you say that I didn't really hear from my husband today, then it's only once. Hug and pecks before leaving, hugs as he's coming back, like I said, we play. I climb my husband's back to ride us. Yeah. So, and then appreciation. He appreciates me for every little thing I do. And I appreciate him for every little thing he does. I don't say because it is his responsibility to provide, so I just keep short. No. Pay the children's school fees. Oh, thank you, my darling. God bless you. The Lord replenish your pockets. I tell him thank you for every little thing. I show him gratitude, and then we support each other. He is so vested in what concerns me. Most of my counseling trainings that I had, it was one that fished them out. This course will be very good for you. Go and engage. And the dollar card is with me. So all I do is just,
swipe.
Just swipe. So we spend quality time together. We play a lot together. We pray together. We laugh together. We joke together. There's the place of appreciation, and of course there is the place of emotional intimacy and physical intimacy. We cultivate respect. My husband respects me, and I respect and honor him a great deal. And then act of service. I speak his emotional love language. I discovered that one of his top emotional love language is act of service. So I'm always excited doing things for him, and he sees my excitement doing things for him, And then another thing was having the positive mindset about my marriage. See, if you don't look for the good in your marriage, if you don't look for the good in your partner, you see every other thing, because whatever you pay attention to grows. So I chose to focus on his odoguness. I chose to focus on his beauty, his power points. I chose to focus on what is going on well in my marriage and what is not going on. So your mindset shift is very important, gratitude, and then we'll learn about each other. We have discussions, like what can I do to make life easier for you? How can I be a better wife? We have those discussions. He asked me, how can I be a better husband to you? What can I do this period for you? In what way do you think I can make this easier for you? He does that. So those are some of the things that we do that keeps our marriage thriving, and sweet.
What role has the traditional played in the modern way of marriage?
What role has the traditional played in the modern? Okay, so traditional roles like, for example, the woman takes care of the home front, pay attention to what goes on in the house. Then the man goes out there to provide, I feel that even till now, no matter how modern we are, if the man is not providing us, so there's always some sort of issues at home in the home front. Now, even though times have changed, and the woman too is going out there, being empowered financially, to bring in stuff, to lay on the table. But we still look to the man. We still look to the man a great deal. So the traditional pros of having distinctive roles still plays in the modern day marriage also, because we need to sit down to discuss who does what in the family. Yeah, who does what in the family. Okay, so for this week, I'm going to be running a TV show. I'm not going to, okay, baby is okay, I'm going to stand in for you in the kitchen. I'll prepare the dinner for us. Yeah, so the man goes into the kitchen, and my husband does that. The man goes to the kitchen, and takes care of that. So the aspect of in the traditional way, we have the roles cut out for us, both for the man and the woman. Today also, we still need to have our roles cut out for us, but not by society, but by we sitting down and discussing those roles on how we can run our family. Because there are some homes that the man is a better cook than the woman, sure. And so the man does most of the cooking. You understand? So that is what works for us in that home, so we keep to that. So traditional roles in a way still comes into play, but it should enhance it and not make it worse.
We've seen marriages that after so many years they go their separate ways. No woman goes into her marriage to leave. When this kind of conflicts happen, what can she do? I'm going to ask this in two parts.
Okay.
What can she do to correct it, and when is the time to step out?
Okay, let me get to it right now. When there is a conflict in the home, what she should do to address it.
Yes.
Okay, and if it's not addressable,
when should she
step out? Okay, all right. So conflict is inevitable, as we know. Now, conflict on its own, it's not a problem. Conflict on its own is not bad. It's how we handle the conflict. So we have healthy ways of handling conflict. We have unhealthy ways of handling conflict. And so if we handle conflict in healthy ways, it will promote the well-being of the relationship. But if we handle it in an unhealthy way, it will kill or destroy the marriage and the relationship. And so when you talked about emotional intelligence, how emotional intelligence can help somebody in relationship, emotional intelligence comes to play here. Because emotional intelligence will help you to develop empathy and understanding. So you don't shout, you don't just go all over the roof. Emotional intelligence will keep you in check, like, let's say, package you very well, So the woman needs to be emotionally intelligent in handling conflict. The woman needs to be able to listen, attentive, listen and understand. Because in conflict resolution, we must be able to know the need of the other person. What do I need? Oh, sis, many people don't know what they need. they don't know what their partners need. And so they just keep arguing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What do you think your husband needs in this situation? She has no clue. What do you think your wife needs in this situation? He has no clue. So to resolve the conflict, she needs to be able to be emotionally intelligent. She needs to be able to listen properly. She needs to be able to come to the table with empathy and understand, put herself in the place of the other person. She needs to be able to use the I statement, not you, because this is pointing fingers, this is playing the blame game, this is attacking. And anytime you attack somebody, there's a tendency for the person to defend himself.
Yes.
Either they defend themselves or they run away from the situation. Either way, you don't get a solution. Also, she should go with the mindset of peace. Go in there with the mindset of peace. Go with the intention that my husband is not my enemy. Because if you have the mindset that my spouse is my enemy, you're going to fight to finish. So go with the mind of peace to get resolution. Go with the intention that my husband is not my enemy, is my lover, my God-given friend, my God-given partner. All right. Go with the intention of, go with peace, like I said. Yeah, go with peace. And then please forgive also, whatever it takes. If as much as you want to remain in that marriage, all right, try as much as possible to forgive. Another thing in solving conflict is focus on the solution. Oh, we spilled the milk. Don't bother about you were clumsy, you spilled them. Don't attack the person. Focus on the solution. What is the way forward? What can we do? And I'll tell people, let there be more we than I or you in the marriage. We. Don't say you burnt the soup. Our soup got burnt. It's our soup. We burnt the soup. You understand? So focus on the solution. Don't address the situation. Don't attack the person. And then you might want to work with non-verbal communication, strategies, or which is ACA, appreciation, correction, appreciation, or the PPRO, pause, pray, response. So this ACA says before you address the issue with your partner, A for appreciation. Appreciate the person in the areas that the person is good. The person has been doing well. The person has been contributing positively to the family. Appreciate the person in that area. And then C, say correction. Then you begin to point out the areas that you feel that, the person could, you need better, show up. And then after the person has listened to you and said whatever you want to say, you appreciate the person again. Because how you say it is as important as what you say. Sometimes you may say the right thing, but how you say it may meet the person in the wrong note, and the person might not want to listen to you. So your approach absolutely matters. Then the PPRO says pause, pray, and respond. So when the thing is getting so heated, please exit. Pause. Now, you don't exit just there and then. This exit should be something that you two of you must have discussed in your communication agreement or your communication document. Okay, commitment. Say, okay, for example, say, babe, let it be a culture, a tradition in this family that when tension is going up and we are both talking, one person should ask for time out. So you already have that agreement, not that, yes. So not when in the heat of it you just walk out, but it will be something that you both have agreed on. So when that time comes, say, okay, please, I think I want to call for a pause because of the way things are turning right now, and the other person will oblige.
So as you're calling for a pause, when is the proper time to step out of the marriage completely?
Okay, now this pause is not the one this pause is for you to pause, take a breather, okay, see if you can come back to discuss. So while you are pausing, you can pray for guidance, for help. One person can take a stroll to the street, down the street, walk. As you're going, you are thinking, go and buy orange or ice cream for the two of you. Do you understand? And then you come back to respond. So by then, you would have given out a lot of negative energy when you come back to discuss that matter. All right. Now, when do you walk out of it? When it's no longer serving you. Now, serving you is not you being selfish here now. When you know that your life is on the line, please, it is time to pick your bag. Even if you are not divorcing, just give yourself some space. You go think. You go think. But before you do that, I will counsel you see a professional counselor or marriage and relationship therapist or coach, all right, to see if your differences can be resolved. If it cannot be resolved and there is physical violence, then you might want to carry your bag
and go. So what is your advice to young women who are about to take that lifelong step of marriage?
That is walking out of the marriage or going into
marriage?
No,
those that are going into marriage now. Those young girls who are preparing to get married.
Okay. So, sweet sisterly, if you want to go into marriage, number one, I would say find yourself first of all. Know who you are. Become self-aware. Know your identity, because if you don't know you, if you don't know your identity, any name they call you in marriage, you will answer. They will call you strange names. But if you know who you are, if you have discovered and developed that identity, you will shake off things when in-laws come, mother-in-law, whoever in-law comes, husband once in a while, the head touches, you will be able to stand. So please, know who you are. I will say also, become happy in your own skin, by yourself and for yourself. Become a flourishing individual. Be happy for you and find your happiness before you go into marriage. Also, find your purpose, because your purpose will guide you, so you don't pick an alternative. Because marriage is to enhance purpose. It doesn't put it to an end. It doesn't stop it. And any way that you need to be empowered, please empower yourself. I have seen young ladies that I stop living because they are not yet married. Please leave. Build houses if you can. Buy houses if you can. Buy cars if you can. Go abroad if you can. If you want to go for master's, PhD, by all means do it. You are going to attract your kind. You will attract your kind.
Sure.
So don't fold your hands and sit and say, I'm waiting for one man to come and marry. Don't prepare just for marriage. Prepare for life. Because marriage is just one aspect of life. Marriage is not all of life. Prepare for life, not just preparing for marriage. And then, please, heal by all means. If you know you are broken, if you know you've been hurt, you are bleeding, so you don't bleed in the new environment, heal before you deal. Heal before you deal.
Heal before you deal.
By marriage.
I want to say very big thank you for sharing these valuable insights with us.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be here.
Our guest has been Mrs. Yinlayefa Adeleke, the founder of Recovery Waters Counseling Limited. What a powerful conversation we've had today on love, dating and marriage from a woman's perspective. We've explored the joys, the challenges and the evolving dynamics of relationships in today's world. One thing is clear: every woman's love journey is unique, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach to finding happiness in love and marriage. As women, we deserve relationships that uplift us, partnerships that support our growth, and love that reflects our worth. Whether you're single, dating, married, or even navigating a new chapter, remember that your happiness and fulfillment should always come first. If you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to join us for more discussions that empower, educate, and inspire. Until next time, keep loving yourself, keep growing, and never settle for less than the love you deserve. See you on the next episode of Feminine Scope. Bye-bye.